Happy Monday! Today we are painting our first hat. I'll be painting 2 this week. It was requested that I paint a Pink Floyd hat. We're a big fan of this underbill design right here, so I'll be trying to not entirely replicate it, but do something very similar to it. I highly recommend drawing out your design first and possibly even tracing it onto your fabric, but I'm just going to freehand this. Triangles are really hard to freehand, so I would definitely practice first if you're doing something similar to this, but I was pretty comfortable with it, so I just went ahead and did it. I was just going to start with the bottom of the rainbow and work towards the top, but then I realized that I kind of want it more centered, so I started with the middle color, which was green, instead of the bottom color, which was purple. And then I worked on each side of that green one, and I kept going back over and over and over every single line to get the perfect thickness and opaqueness that I wanted. Every single time my paintbrush goes out of screen, I take it to the paper towel to wipe off any excess paint, and then I rinse it off. Even if I'm going to keep using the same color, I rinse it off and then I dry it off again so that I have a clean start with every single stroke, so there's no like clumps or any stray strings or bristles poking out anywhere, so that I know exactly how my brush is going to perform every single time I put it to this fabric. I chose to stick with like colors, so I worked all the cold colors first, the cool colors, green, blue, and purple, and then I moved over to warm colors, yellow, orange, and red. And then I think I went back over to the cool colors earlier, but I think it's safest to work with light colors in case they do accidentally smudge or mix together a little bit. I definitely should have done this sooner, but make sure you flip over your work, especially if you're doing straight lines, because they will curve, and so flipping your work back and forth helps you keep straight lines straight and keep things proportionate. And if anything is like wonky, leaning a certain way, or just the curve looks wrong, when you flip it, you can fix it because they're easier to see. It's easier to see mistakes. It's a thing that digital artists do a lot, is they flip their work constantly back and forth so that they can see any abnormalities in their line work. Ooh, stuttered a second there. Couldn't remember how to say what I wanted to say. By the way, the footage is sped up just a little bit, just 1.5 times. It's not a whole, like, 2 times the speed, so it isn't too fast, but I do paint a little bit slower than how it looks like I do in this video. I try not to speed up my work too much, that way it doesn't, like, discourage anybody else for, you know, working too slow or something, but I do want to keep the times of the videos down, the length of the video down, so that it's not boring or inconvenient to watch. So I got low on my blue paint, and I made a little bit of a mess when I poured it out, and it got all over the top of the bottle. Silly me. I can't be clean whenever doing something. I even got blue paint on the table. I got Sharpie on it last week, got paint on it this week. What am I gonna get on it next week? I don't know. We'll see. I know this wasn't my design, so I can't like take credit for it or anything, but I am pretty pleased with how the paint laid out on this fabric. It made the design look pretty cool. I'm curious to see what it'll look like once it's dry. I know it'll be similar. I've painted on hats before. It'll look very similar, just a little bit less shiny. And I'm thinking about spraying a waterproof clear coat or water resistant clear coat. I don't remember what it is, over top of it, or painting over top of it, just to protect the design a little bit more. I don't know if it's necessary or not. I'll think about it later on. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did. I hope that it inspires you to paint something of your own, maybe a backpack if you aren't able to go to school anymore. At least you can do something with it, you know? I wish I would have thought of doing that back when I was in school. That would have been so fun. I would have loved doing that every single year, just painting my backpack. Oh, my paintbrush just fell. Yeah, don't dip your entire paintbrush in the water because the glue is not waterproof and it will get all mushy and the top of your paintbrush will fall off. And I've tried using super glue before, but then it cracks when you put any pressure on it, which is weird. I don't know why it does that. I don't know how that works. Oh, also, I did not use fabric paint. I just used regular acrylic paint. You can use fabric paint. I do have some fabric paint, but not like a whole rainbow of fabric paint. Acrylic paint works just fine. I have little chickies that I just bought today. Don't worry about that little chirping in the background. Fabric paint costs a little bit more, so I don't have a whole collection of it yet. I do love it. It sits on top of fabric a lot better than acrylic paint. Acrylic paint soaks in a little bit first, and so you got to do a few layers of it, but it still works perfectly fine. You just can't like wash it much. I would spot clean it if you did need to wash it. So go to my Facebook page, share your progress. I would absolutely love to see your work. Let me know if you have any questions about any of this. I would love to answer them. And I hope you have a great day and happy painting.